because I predict these things.
Julianna Peña takes on Kayla Harrison this Saturday at UFC 316. This will be the co-main event for the UFC Women's Bantamweight Championship. Julianna Peña, this will be her first title defense, fresh off of her win by split decision over Raquel Pennington back in October. You can argue she didn't win that fight. I don't think she did. I think Pennington won rounds 1, 4, and 5. I think it was, but a very close fight. And here we are, taking on Kayla Harrison, who will be getting her first title shot in the UFC since coming over from PFL back in April of 2024. So 2 fights in the organization, getting a title shot. She's really good, though, so I get it. But Julianna Peña, like I said, coming off of the win over Raquel Pennington, she's just had kind of a gifted career. I'm going to be very honest in this video. Not the best record, not the best resume, hasn't been the most active. You look back since 2015, 2013, she's fighting once a year maybe. Had a decent run coming out of the Ultimate Fighter, went on a 4-fight winning streak, got her shot against Valentina Shevchenko, was finished by armbar. Comes back, beats Nico Montano, which is a whole nother topic that we can explore later, but gets a decision over her, loses to Germaine de Randamie, gets finished by the striker and Germaine de Randamie by guillotine choke. Comes back, gets a win over Sarah McMahon, who was probably 40 years old at the time, which gets her a shot at Amanda Nunes. Has a very gritty performance against Amanda Nunes. I'm not going to take anything away from her. Tired her out. I think Nunes just tried to go for the quick finish like we all thought she was going to get, and kind of tired herself out and got rear naked choked. But then she loses the rematch, immediately gets another title shot against Raquel Pennington for the vacant belt once Amanda Nunes vacates and retires, and squeaks that one by. So very 50-50 career for her to have 3 different title shots. But she's 35 years old, 5'6", with a 69-inch reach. So I think she's going to be 2 years older than Kayla Harrison. No, 1 year older. Kayla Harrison is 34 years old. So we'll see how this one matches up. Julianna Peña, decent jab, kind of very heavy on her front foot, so she's susceptible to leg kicks, that I think Kayla Harrison will be able to take advantage of in this fight. Doesn't move her legs either, or really check kicks. We saw in the Pennington fight, it was right there to just get battered, and Pennington really didn't pick up on it and take advantage of it at all. And for being the wrestler, her takedown defense is only 23%. And she wins fights by getting takedowns, but she just kind of holds you. I don't see her being, the biggest finisher in the world. Obviously, she's got a few chokes, but a lot of her fights do, she does get finishes by choke, but a lot of them are by decision, and she's definitely not KOing anybody on the feet. She just has very rudimentary striking, kind of just throws punches to close the distance and get into to get her takedowns. But I feel like Kayla Harrison, if she can defend the takedowns in this one, she'll get this one done, because Kayla Harrison is just an absolute beast. She's 18-1, 34 years old. She's 5'8", with a 66-inch reach. So she's going to be 2 inches taller, but have a 3-inch reach disadvantage in this one. But former Olympic judoka, two gold medals in the Olympics. She has a lot of high-level experience fighting over in PFL. Fought Aspen Ladd, Larissa Pacheco, Martina Jindrova. Decent fights over there, but then she came to the UFC. She beat Holly Holm, got the rear naked choke over her, just kind of dominated her on the ground, and then had a really good performance against Ketlen Vieira. At the time, I thought she was just going to run through Ketlen, so it was kind of a reality check for me. I was like, is she as good as we think she is? But rewatching that fight, she had a really good performance. Stayed safe against somebody like Ketlen Vieira, who I think is very good. We saw this past week against Macy Chasson. She just looked levels above Macy Chasson, and she went to that as the underdog. So I'm going to go with Kayla Harrison in this one. I think she's going to be the bigger, stronger fighter. I think she's got more finishing potential. I think she goes out there looking to hurt her opponents. She can throw elbows now. She wasn't able to throw elbows in the PFL, and we saw her just putting a beating on Holly Holm when she got her to the ground. And I just think she's going to be too big for Julianna Peña. I don't think Julianna Peña is going to be able to hurt her on the feet. I don't think she's going to be getting any respect. I don't think she's going to be able to push Kayla Harrison back to really get her takedown game going. I don't think she's going to be able to clinch with her on the cage and utilize that to kind of trap her and get takedowns there. I think Kayla Harrison is going to walk her down, get her to the ground, and just beat on her. I could see her getting the choke. I could see her getting the finish over Julianna Peña because she has been finished, a few times in her career. Choked out by Germaine Duranamy, armbarred by Valentina Shevchenko. Lost to some very, subpar competition back in the day before the Ultimate Fighter series. 2 losses to people I'd never even heard of, who don't have winning records on the regional scene. She does have 2 fights against Amanda Nunes and 1 against Valentina Shevchenko, so she has fought, the best of the best in the division. But that's over, an 8-year time span. She's only fought, 7 times. And Kayla Harrison, she's fought back-to-back-to-back fights in the PFL and fought really good competition since she's been in the UFC. So I think she's been more tested. She had a really rough fight with Larissa Pacheco that she lost by decision, but outside of that, she's 18-1. And I think the only person in the UFC that beats her right now that's relatively close to her weight is Amanda Nunes. I think that'd be a good fight if Amanda Nunes came back, but I just don't see how Julianna Peña wins this fight. I don't think she's going to be able to win at range. I don't think that Kayla Harrison's just going to stand there and let her hit her and let her dictate the pace or the fight on the feet. I think she's going to get into her face, not respect her punching power, not respect her her offensive wrestling, and get her to the ground and just wear on her. I think she can get the ground and pound KO. I think she could KO her on the feet too, but I can just see her battering her legs, shooting for takedowns, getting takedowns, landing elbows, beating her up on the ground, en route to a decision win, or getting the ground and pound KO on the ground, just kind of pinning her to the ground where she can't really move, and refs having to step in. You can see her beating her up, her giving up her back and getting choked out. So I think Kayla Harrison gets this one done. Should be a lock, honestly, unless Julianna Peña has kind of another crazy comeback victory like she did against Amanda Nunes. I don't see a way that she wins this fight, honestly. Kayla Harrison, she's had 5-round experience as well too, which could have been an issue in my opinion, and I think we're past the weight cut concerns on her end as well. She's got 2 fights in the UFC already, so I think the cards or the deck is stacked in her favor, and I think Kayla Harrison gets this one done. Thanks.